Devil Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. We got a good one for you tonight, a game that should go a long way toward clearing up some of the muddle that is the Pac-10 Conference so far this year. We welcome you to Pac-10 College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips HD. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, my partner Petros Papadakis. And Petros, it is a little bit early to be talking about things like pivotal games in the Pac-10, and yet that really is what we have here tonight. Both these teams with just one loss in the conference, and they want to keep it that way.
Well, if they can get a victory, either team, it would mean a lot going forward in the Pac-10 Conference. There's only one undefeated team right now in conference, and it's not USC, it's Oregon. There's a bunch of other teams with a lot of exciting players that are very good, and they're all jockeying for position right now, and this one means everything for A-State and Washington.
You know, every week you and I go up and down this conference. We do talk to all the coaches about who the great players are in the Pac-10, and they all agree on the guy who is the best.
The best player and the best athlete in the Pac-10 Conference, and maybe the country, is Jake Locker. Now, Washington football has not been great in the last few years, but Jake Locker has always given people in Seattle something to talk about, and this year under Steve Sarkisian, he's got new life. He's always been able to run the ball, and he's been very strong, but he's so much more comfortable in the pocket, throwing the football downfield. He doesn't run as much, but he can still do it. Busted a 56-yard touchdown run last week against Arizona in a victory. Can't wait to see what Jake can do.
And he's averaging 270 yards of offense a game all by his lonesome, but tonight it's not going to be so easy for him. He's got to face one of the toughest defenses, not only in the Pac-10, but all over the country. With more on that, here's the third member of our broadcast team, Michael Eaves.
All right, Barry, thanks a lot. You know, for most defensive coordinators, Jake Locker is a matchup nightmare. But tonight, the player that many coaches say is the best in the conference will face one of the stingiest defenses in the country. Arizona State comes into this game ranked third best in total defense in the country. They're even better against the run. Their 1.4 turnover margin, that's 8th best in the country, and they only give up 16 points a game. And let's go back to last week against Washington State. They set a school record with 12 quarterback sacks, and of course, they are led by senior defensive end Dexter Davis, the only player in the country who has recorded double-digit sacks the last 2 seasons, and a guy that Steve Sarkisian said yesterday is the best pass rusher in the conference, and tonight he may face his toughest challenge against Jake Locker. When we return here on College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips HD, take you to Los Angeles for an update on all the top scorers around the country and get you ready for kickoff between Washington and Arizona State here at Sun Devil Stadium.
Presented by Phillips HD.
And we welcome you back to Sun Devil Stadium here in Tempe. Here come the Arizona State Sun Devils. 3 up and 2 down on this season so far. The Huskies come in 3-3. And let's take it right down to the field now. And Michael Eaves, who is with Dennis Erickson. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, thanks a lot. Coach, your team has been so good against the run. You got a dual threat in Jake Locker. Is he more dangerous when he gets on the end or throwing from the pocket?
Well, both, because he's throwing it when he runs now. I mean, he's one of the most dangerous players in the country. Hopefully we can slow him down and try to keep him in the pocket.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Of course, they've had Washington's number guy. They've beaten the Huskies the last 5 times they've played them.
Yeah, they're on something of a roll, and this game, we want to remind you, is brought to you in high definition by Phillips HD. Dennis Erickson got out of that tunnel pretty quick, led his team out there.
He can still move. He got hit pretty hard on the sideline at Washington State, was actually knocked out for a couple minutes on the sideline. He got hit by one of his own receivers, Jarrell Robinson, but he feels much better now, and he's ready to coach it. There's Steve Sarkisian.
Well, Steve Sarkisian has done an unbelievable job, I think, so far in this, his first year at Washington. Of course, they got the marquee win over USC. They've been really in every game that they've played, with the possible exception of losing at Stanford.
Well, there's no question about it. He's already had 2 signature wins against Arizona last week on a miracle play, and against USC in a great game played by his team. Should have 3 signature wins, almost beat Notre Dame in South Bend as well. So this guy has really energized Washington football, the entire city of Seattle. They absolutely love him because of his enthusiasm enthusiasm. Most of these players have not had this kind of success, and they're just eating it up.
Yeah, he's the right guy in the right place. There's no question about it. He told us yesterday, we got a clean slate here. Everything that happened before was exactly that, before. And he told us that in the fourth practice that his team had, he knew right away, because there was actually a fist fight during that fourth practice, and the players all got together and said, well, we never did this before. Something good is going on here, and it certainly has so far for Sark.
And that's an interesting thing, you know, you get in a fist fight and you think it's a good sign, but it's emotion, it's want to, and it's effort that the Washington Huskies are giving Steve Sarkisian, and you see those improvements. They're off the charts. This team has the same players that went winless last year, and obviously Jake Locker going down against Stanford early in the season did not help the Huskies, but they are just a different football team. They have a different attitude, and they've taken on the attitude and the enthusiasm of their head football coach.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. Just going in and speaking with them last night at their hotel, there was more cheers going on in that hotel than I've heard in the stadium so far.
They got a good reason to be excited, and so does Arizona State at this point, because this game really means everything to both these teams like we talked about. Going forward in the Pac-10 Conference, a victory here really puts somebody in a good position to jump up. Oregon is undefeated, but USC has a loss that Washington handed to them. So it's a wild year in the Pac-10 Conference. It's only going to get more fun.
Arizona State won the toss. They deferred. Bobby Winzik will be the kicker for Arizona State, and the deep end will be Chris Polk, who you look at right here, and Cole Sager, who will be on the near side of the field. ASU has played very well too. They're an injured kicker away from being 4-1. Missed a field goal in overtime at Georgia, a game that they really felt they could have and should have won. That sets the scene for all of this. Winzik's kick is short. Bounces at the 10-yard line, and fortunately for Chris Polk, will go into the end zone. So not a pretty kick, but an effective kick. So Jake Locker will come onto the field to see what he can do against this very tough Arizona State defense, as Michael Eaves pointed out to you. They're very quick off the ball. They're very young. They're very active. They give you a lot of different looks. All of that said, Jake Locker, arguably the best player in the conference.
He's got to be the straw that stirs the drink, and Dennis Erickson in this outstanding Arizona State defense that Michael Eaves was telling you about is going to have to keep him in that pocket.
They go out of the gun, and they will do that a lot on first down. They're going to go up. Steps up, throws underneath, catch made by Johnson. And Johnson gets it ahead to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 5, a little more than 5. Jake Locker, still only a junior. Ferndale, Washington, small town. 20 touchdown runs and 25 touchdown passes in the 22 games that he's played at the University of Washington. Very impressive guy.
And if you take away the sacks this year, he's only really taking off 8 times a game, which is a number that's way down from his past at Washington.
This time they go with 2 tight ends. They've been Pierce in motion. Locker going to go up again. Steps up, throws, caught by Johnson, and dropped. Caught it, had it in his hands, and dropped it. And one of the few drops that the freshman has had this year. He was wide open. Here are the lineups for the Washington Huskies, presented by Acura. There is some experience and some youth on the offensive line. Cavario Middleton, just a sophomore, going to be a big-time player. We already told you about James Johnson, a freshman, who came up huge in the victory against USC. This time they bunched the receivers to the right side. Straight back on 3rd down. Steps up, Johnson again. Same play, better result for the Huskies. And a first down at the 35-yard line. ASU giving Johnson a lot of respect, backing off. Here are the ASU defenders, brought to you by Acura. Michael already told you about Dexter Davis. And the guy we're going to keep a close eye on, Vontez Burfict, just a freshman, prototypical NFL linebacker, according to the Washington coaching staff, a guy to really be respected. They're young in the secondary, and if they're suspect in any area, that would be it. 2 tight ends this time on first down. They give the Polk, and Polk's not going to get any. Stopped by Sayat Fanahola.
Well, it's important that Chris Polk get it going in this football game. Jake Locker cannot be the only rushing threat for the Huskies. Chris Polk, who's a sophomore, a redshirt freshman, played a couple games as a true freshman, but hurt his shoulder. But a redshirt freshman this year, much stronger, much tougher, a lot more want-to in his running style this year as opposed to last year.
This time the dogs are spread it out. Trips right. 3 receivers to the right side of the field. On the gun once again. Walker gives straight ahead to Polk. Polk will go out 2. And again, gang tackling by Arizona State. I believe it was Burfict who was the first man to him. Brooks and Guy there as well.
We're talking about Vontaze Burfict, true freshman out of Corona, California, Corona Centennial High School. Chose Arizona State over USC, had 11 tackles at Georgia. That was really his coming out party. This guy has a huge motor, and he's probably the best freshman they've ever seen here at that position.
Big time player. 3rd down and 8. Look out. Screen, ball batted in the air and knocked out of the hands. That was a very good play. James Brooks had it in his hands. Now a flag comes in. Now we'll see about this. Flag comes in. Now we'll see about this penalty. Watch Davis come off the edge here.
Well, here comes the senior Dexter Davis. And you're not supposed to jump. You're supposed to go straight for the quarterback in situations like that. You're not supposed to leave your feet, but he gambled that time. And when you're a senior, you can do that type of thing. And the ball bounced up in the air, but there's a penalty.
Great for Washington. This is going to go against Arizona State. I thought Senio Clemente really made a big-time play there because as soon as he saw that ball go up in the air and saw Davis go up in the air, he tackled Davis.
The entire Washington offensive line all of a sudden started to play defense, and they did a good job, but it's all moot because of the penalty.
So first break of the ball game goes the way of the Huskies. Now watch Burfict zero in on Jake Locker. We'll show it in just a moment here. As the Huskies hurry to the line of scrimmage. First down into ASU territory inside the 49-yard line. In the I formation this time. Play fake, Locker rolls right. Last time, steps up, go for it all wide open. Touchdown, Huskies! 49 yards. Well, can you say too much about Jake Locker?
Well, we said that Arizona State was a little suspect in the secondary, and here it is. Everybody worried so much about Jake Locker running to the right that Pierre Singfield and Jarrell Holman just lose Aguilar coming across the field in a beautiful throw by Jake Locker. Perfect play call by Steve Sarkisian.
Try for point is up, and it is good by Aaron Folk, and just like that, the Huskies have taken a 7-0 lead on their first drive, and a very impressive 2.5-minute drive that it was.
And here you're going to see the play action. Steve Sarkisian liked to run a lot of that at USC, but there's so much emphasis on keeping Jake Locker inside the pocket. He's able to stop and find Aguilar coming all the way back across the field. Too much worry about Jake Locker getting to the edge and not enough worry in the secondary, and a very good play call once again by Steve Sarkisian, and a great way to start the game for the University of Washington. They can stretch the field like that, then they can get Chris Polk going in the run game, and they can soften up this very tough Arizona State defense.
Of course, the personal foul against Arizona State was what prolonged that drive. I know that's the kind of thing just it makes any coach, but makes Dennis Erickson particularly just gnash his teeth.
That's a really tough balance when you have a defense that plays violently, that plays mean. You want to keep them out there being aggressive, and you see Jake Locker taking a hit there from Vontaze Burfict, and that was the personal foul right there. A true freshman mistake. The true freshman we've been singing the praises of hits the veteran in Jake Locker, and that draws a flag. Anybody hits Jake Locker out there, probably going to get a flag if it's a little iffy, because he is such a target.
Now the kick, headed for Miles. And Miles handles it about the 8-yard line. He's right through the center of the field. Miles got a little gap. He steps in and out of one tackle, but then a stop in the second as he crossed the 25 was Fred Wiggs on the stop. So now it'll be Danny Sullivan who takes over. Danny is a guy who isn't going to dazzle you with numbers, but he manages the game pretty well. Doesn't get you in a lot of trouble. Big guy at 6'4", 242 pounds. Been around this program for a long time.
you're not going to see him scramble very much. Not much previous playing experience before this year, but he is a strong-arm quarterback.
Put it up on first down. Backfield this time. That is Nance. Nance is going to get very little. In fact, he might have lost a yard. Nate Williams making sure he's not going anywhere. Here is the Arizona State offense presented by Acura, and once again the offensive line has been an area of some concern, but next week it'll get better. They got a couple of people coming back. McGahey, incidentally, is in the starting lineup. Now he's out, but did start. He did not practice all week long. He's been sick with the flu, so how far he'll be able to go remains to be seen. Not in the game right now. Out of the gun, Sullivan this time on second down. He'll go up again. Steps up, throws, incomplete. Leading Jarrell Robinson a little bit too much. Trufant was there, but an errant pass. Defensively, for the Washington Huskies, very strong up front. Daniel Tail-Nessheim, a guy who will play on Sundays, no question about it. The strength is at the linebacking position. Foster made the big play last week. Butler, of course. And in the secondary, Quentin Richardson. He's been a starter his entire career at Washington, and true freshman Trufant on the other side, but boy, do they speak highly of him.
That's the captain, Donald Butler, right there. 51 tackles, 7.5 TFLs, and 2 picks already. He's something.
5-man rush, 4 receivers. Sullivan unloads. Catch is made by Robinson. The big first down at the 44-yard line. Nice job by Sullivan to just stay in there.
Danny Sullivan doing a great job stepping up in the pocket, standing in there with bravery and getting in there when Cameron Elisera was putting pressure on him. There you see the throw. Very nice catch, very controlled coming through that zone by Jarrell Robinson, and Nate Williams ends up making the tackle, but not before. A-State comes up with a big first down. Nice play by Danny Sullivan. That'll give him confidence going forward in this football game.
And a gain of 19. Nance remains the running back. Both teams airing it out early in this game. There's Nance coming right. And now reverse. And here is Simpson with the ball in an open field. Midfield 45-40. Ducks inside at the 30. And a fine open field tackle to save a touchdown and a late flag. 29 yards on the gain on the reverse by Simpson. Well executed. It was Victor Iewa who made the saving tackle, but let's see about the penalty. I think this is going to go. Both teams pointing, and so we'll hold it here for a minute, not try to guess.
Dangerous exchange between Dimitri Nance and TJ Simpson.
Face mask. Defense. Penalty will be half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
So both teams have had a big break in the penalty department on their first drive. Look at this play.
You saw the exchange between Dimitri Nance, just flipped it out there for TJ Simpson, the sophomore. He took advantage of the over-aggressive linebackers of Washington. Everybody over-pursues, and TJ Simpson coming back across, opening up and running. He's got a very nice stride and trying to use his blockers, and face mask right there. It happened pretty fast, but it was enough to draw the penalty.
Does not get a lot of minutes. Comes in the lineup now. Receiver spies and stops the right side. Trips right, set again with first down at the 12-yard line. There's Nance going left this time. Nance taking a couple of people with him. Down to about the 10, maybe the 9-yard line.
I've always been impressed with the feet of Dimitri Nance. He's a senior now. Not a tall back, 5'10", about 218 pounds, but he's got great feet, and he has a great ability to move his feet and then burst forward for some tough yardage, as you saw in that first down run there. Nice, manageable second down now for Danny Sullivan.
Going to mark this ball right at the 9-yard line. It'll be second down at 7. Again, 3 receivers to the right side. Play fake. Sullivan steps up, throws to the end zone. Over 3, had a man. TJ Simpson open in the end zone. And the crowd here, a little bit restless. They have not been real pleased with the performance of Danny Sullivan. They have a freshman on the team by the name of Brock Osweiler, who shows some outstanding traits as a guy who is going to, at some point, be a pretty darn good quarterback.
Here you see Washington in the red zone. Doing a pretty good job, second best in the Pac-10 in the red zone. Did a good job against USC, no question about it in that game. Very opportunistic defense. 3 touchdowns defensively in the last 3 games.
3rd and 7, Sullivan straight back again, throws underneath the Nance. Nance, dodgy tackler, slips by another man, gets down to the 1-yard line. That'll be a first down. Daniel Teonesheim saved a touchdown, but the Sun Devils will have 4 downs to get it in from a yard out.
Right, nice effort by Teonesheim getting down and preventing the touchdown. But I told you about the feet of Dimitri Nance, and he just did it right there. Just incredible ability to move laterally and then get right back up the field. We talk a lot about a lot of backs in the Pac-10, but this guy's putting on a little display early in this game, especially with that play on the screen.
Leading returning rusher coming back here this year at Arizona State. 2 tight ends now. That's the lone setback. And Sullivan goes under center. And Sullivan tries to take it in himself. No signal yet. Looked like he got in. Let's see. The Sun Devils think they have a touchdown, but the officials now, the referee signals touchdown. So an impressive drive for the Sun Devils to match an impressive drive by the Huskies to open this ball game.
And the left side of that line is what Arizona State has that's healthy right now. And Danny Sullivan gets in behind Hargis and Lau and pushes into the end zone. Nice drive to answer the Washington touchdown by Arizona State. And that'll give Danny Sullivan and this offense a great confidence boost going forward. And Dimitri Nance on that screenplay really made it happen.
Drive for point now on its way, and it is good. And it was Thomas Weber, not coincidentally, who made that. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Tied at 7. James Johnson, Foy, made sure he wasn't going anywhere. Gained about 6. It'll still be 3rd down and 14.
And this big 3rd and long situation is going to be very difficult for Jake Locker, especially with the way the Arizona State Sun Devils have been able to get a rush with just their front 4. Lawrence Guy, Dexter Davis, James Brooks just coming hard on Locker, making it hard for him here in the first quarter.
Out of the gun. Locker straight back, has a little time this time. Now he throws. Fulgerson makes the catch, but he's not going anywhere. Dropped short of the 30-yard line, gain of 2. But the Dogs will have to give it up. Gertel on the tackle.
And a great job by Travis Gaethel getting out there. Same with Montez Perfect on the play before. These Arizona State linebackers not only play great in the gaps, the A gap and the B gap, but they can get sideline to sideline in a hurry between Nixon and Travis Gaethel and Montez Perfect and the backup middle backer, Gerald Munns. This is one of the deepest linebacking corps in the country.
So on to do the punting now. Will Mahan once again. Kyle Williams, the deep man for the Sun Devils. He stands at about the 28-yard line. A short twisting kick. Fair catch called by Williams and made just short of the 35-yard line. That's where they'll mark it. A 36-yard punt, no return. We're coming back tied at 7.
The Fox Sports 1 Fan Express may be coming to your town.
Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. I'm Barry Tompkins, along with Petros Papadakis and Michael Eaves. You're watching Pac-10 College Football Saturday, presented by Philips HD. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to action further in the game. Welcome back. Defense starting to take hold now. We're tied at 7. Each team scored on its first possession. Let's take a look at our days in Pac-10 Conference standings. USC has won the last 7 championships. But as you pointed out earlier, the only undefeated team right now, the Ducks of Oregon.
And they've really got it going. I mean, they found running backs to replace LeGarrette Blount, Michael James, Kenyon Barner. I mean, they really are a special team, and they're great on defense even on the road. Usually Oregon's a different team on the road defensively, not this year.
Chip Kelly doing a great job. A really rocky start. There's Nance on first down. Takes people with him. Picks up about 2, maybe 3 yards. Alameda to Amu on the tackle. First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com at home with the O.
The Sun Devils are starting to get a pretty good push here with Dimitri Nance and this offensive line.
this time. 4 wide receivers. A quick toss to Miles. Miles slips a tackle. 40, 45, midfield and out of bounds. That was just plain a miss, a whiff by Trufant.
Desmond Trufant couldn't bring Jamal Miles down. A freshman out of Fresno, 5'10", 180 pounds. And that's an exciting feeling. As a young player, you get hit and you realize you're still on your feet. You can take off down the field.
Miles, the guy who's not had a lot of playing time, not even listed on the 3-deep roster.
Well, Chris McGahey has not been playing very much. He played the first play, like you said, Barry. He's been out all week with flu symptoms, and he might not be able to make it this game.
Out of the gun again, a play fake and a pass, and a catch made, and a nice catch made by Kerry Taylor. Kerry Taylor, it's in the genes. His dad, Keith Taylor, played 10 years in the NFL, and he's the nephew of John Taylor. Anybody who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area certainly knows John Taylor. He was the other receiver with Jerry Rice, and a guy who more than held his own.
Well, Kerry can play too, and you saw that route he just ran. Turned the true freshman Desmond Trufant's hips around and ran a nice route. Danny Sullivan's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
And with that, we come to the end of the first quarter, and a very entertaining quarter. Started out all offense, ended up all defense. 7 Sun Devils, 7 Huskies. We're just getting started here on the desert in Tempe, Arizona. Don't go away. We're coming back. At all, but they threw it for 73 yards. Locker 5 of 7. Sullivan 7 of 9 for 77 yards, and Arizona State was able to run it a bit. Nance, the guy who's really been a catalyst for them so far. And here's that reverse again, and this time they're going to throw off it. And look into the end zone. A lot of bumpy going on. Catch made. Touchdown. T.J. Simpson. 32 yards. Well, they ran a variation on a theme, and it worked both times.
That's the truth. They set it up with the reverse in the first quarter, and then that time you could have called pass interference on Nate Williams. He never really turned around looking for the ball. Perfectly thrown ball all the way to the back of the end zone. Something that a quarterback would throw. Kyle Williams steps perfectly into it. Looked like a quarterback throwing the ball, and T.J. Simpson able to cradle it in the back of the end zone. Could have gotten a flag, too.
Yeah, absolutely could have. Well, Kyle Williams having a good arm is in the genes for him, too. His dad, Ken, of course, the Chicago White Sox general manager. What a grab.
He barely caught it with his thighs and able to secure it as he was going out of bounds. Nate Williams was not in terrible position to make the play as you see him there, but never turned his head around to look for the ball. Just kept his eyes on T.J. Simpson, and that's how Simpson was able to make that play.
They're going to review this.
Now let's see if he had possession when he was going out of bounds, because the ball does slip through his arms, and then he secures it against his thighs, and then falls out of bounds. That's a really close play.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a catch.
It looks to be a catch, and even if it's that close, I don't think it'd be enough to overturn it.
Well, a little razzle-dazzle, not
After
once but
further
twice.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Right call. And just like that, Sun Devils have scored twice and lead it. And the try for point, Weber will come on. Weber just can't follow through, although he sure did in that little warm-up.
Well, he did the right thing. He got a sweat going. He warmed his body up. It's a nice warm evening here in Tempe. I think his leg's feeling pretty good right now.
And he rams it through, and it is a 14-7 Sun Devil lead. Here's the catch again, and a beauty it was by Williams. Don't go away. We're coming back. Simpson on the score. This is going to be Johnson. About the 4-yard line. Johnson trying to get the outside. Can't do it. Flag comes in. Back at about 16-yard line. Josh Jordan makes the tackle. And we'll see about the penalty, but I'm quite sure this is going to go against the Huskies. Conference amongst the officials.
During the run back, illegal block below the waist. Number 1 of the return team. Penalty will be half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down.
There's a poke with an illegal block, and so Huskies are going to have to start deep in their own territory. Let's take a moment now for Phillips HD Fearless predictions and talk about Vontaze Burfict. And it doesn't take a great seer to know that this guy's going to be a big-time player.
He's just a severe player, explosive, great deal of violence in his game, plays great in the gaps, gets sideline to sideline, communicates a lot with Mike Nixon, but this is a guy who is going to be the future of the Sun Devil defense. He's the present right now at middle back.
This is Ferguson on the carry, bounces off an inline, but doesn't get much, about a yard and a half. Brandon McGee makes the stop.
And Washington's got to find a better way right now, Barry. They've got to stretch the field a little bit as a flag goes down. There are a lot of extracurricular activity between the two teams. They've got to get a better push in the run game, find a way to get some yards in the run, because Jake Locker can't do it himself.
7 carries for 7 yards.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense, number 7. Penalty will be 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Second penalty on Burfict. Arizona State, the most penalized team in the Pac-10.
Well, let's watch him. There you see him, number 7, Vontaze Burfict on top of the pile, goes down. He's on top of Fogerson there. He's staying on top of Fogerson, and I guess they say that he pushed on his face mask or something like that, and then you see the senior Travis Gaethel trying to calm Burfict down. That's 2 personal fouls. But right now, that's a problem for Arizona State. You see the penalties K-State has suffered from. That's not helping with Vontaze Burfict. That was a tough call, but we weren't right inside the pile. Maybe he was saying something, but his linebacker mates, Mike Nixon, the captain, and Travis Gaethel, have got to calm him down because they need him to play with a level head.
So a break for the Huskies here. They have it at the 25-yard line. Locker going to go up, throws a screen to Middleton. And
Locker trying to set up a screen. Let's watch Vontaze Burfict. Look at him just charge the A-gap. Wow. I mean, that just doesn't happen, guys. That doesn't happen to an offensive lineman at the college level. Being hit by a middle line. That reminds me a lot of an old teammate of mine that won the Butkus Award, Chris Claiborne.
Yeah, well, Burfict's about that size, 245. He's a big guy. This time they split Middleton to the far side. Locker has time. Now he throws underneath. Catch made by Fogerson. Great block by Middleton. And Fogerson, I believe, is going to have enough for a first down across the 35-yard line. Nice block by Middleton. Gain of 11.
Well, let's watch Cavario Middleton, a sophomore. We saw him play a lot as a true freshman, coming in, and he's going to hit Travis Gaethel. Great job on the crackback and a perfectly clean block. And with that penalty, once again, the Huskies have new life offensively.
Well, it was a penalty that kept the Huskies' touchdown drive alive. Chris Polk back in the ballgame at tailback. Play fake. Now Locker steps to his right, steps up, going for it all. And contact, no flag, and I think that's a good no call. Pass is intended for James Johnson. Terrell Carr was defending, and I think they just kind of tangled legs that time.
And Terrell Carr is a very consistent player for the Arizona State defense. James Johnson out there trying to test him. And Washington trying to stretch that field out, because right now you see the Sun Devils creeping up further and further under the line of scrimmage, and these 3 linebackers are really physically having their way with the Washington offensive line. And Washington's got to find a way to loosen them up.
Locker short drop this time. Catch is made by Kearse. Kearse will pick up about 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Singfield on the stop.
And you're seeing these plays trying to go sideline to sideline, trying to stretch the field, just trying to stretch out that Arizona State defense. That's what Steve Sarkisian's trying to do right now with his play calling. You know, Steve Sarkisian, when he was at USC, did a lot of movement plays, trying to get his quarterbacks out of the pocket on the run, you know, hitting tight ends or fullbacks that run along with the quarterback. That's very hard to do with Jake Locker because of the emphasis by defenses to keep him in the pocket.
There's Locker, and he's going to get 45 midfield, and then wisely gets down at about the 47-yard line. Mike Nixon makes the stop.
Ryan McFoy left his feet before Jake Locker got down. Jake Locker, just a much smarter player. A couple years ago, Jake Locker would have taken Ryan McFoy, the senior safety out of Chino, California for Arizona State on. He would have taken it right to his face mask. But Steve Sarkisian's done a great job this year of explaining to Jake Locker that it's a marathon, not a sprint in the season, and they need him for 13 games, not just 6. And there you see him getting down right under the wave of Ryan McFoy.
And again, a flag falls before the snap and a false start.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Tavarion Middleton.
In fact, the emphasis on Jake Locker staying in the pocket and becoming a purer, more comfortable passer was so much so that Steve Sarkisian would not let him take off and run in spring practice at all. He had to stay in the pocket. Now, nobody's going to hit Jake Locker in practice no matter what, or any quarterback at the college level in practice, but if there's nothing there, often you practice, you take off and run. Locker not allowed to do that all spring.
So now 1st and 15. Huskies have seen a lot of that. Slant this time, and able to hold on was Aguilar. And now a flag. Once again, I think it's going to be on Burfict.
I think they're going to get him for head hunting. I think he was a little too high above the shoulders of Aguilar after the slant play went a little low. Vontaze Burfict is a reckless player. There's no question about it. You see that ball low, and he goes down to his knees. And Vontaze Burfict, let's see how soon he left his feet after he saw Aguilar go down. That's a pretty bang-bang play, but that's going to draw a flag when you go after somebody's head like that.
Yeah, no question, but now Dennis Erickson is right in the face of one of the officials.
That's 3 15-yard penalties in the first half on Vontaze Burfict, the true freshman middle backer.
And that one was really uncalled for.
Well, here you're going to see it in real speed, and you can see how fast things happen out there.
You cannot lead with your head. It's just that simple.
Just a very dangerous play there. And there you see Burfict. He is an excitable young man.
Goes down at the 37. Locker, pump fake. Pulls it down. Now he throws and drop. But I think we're going to get another flag. Johnson, the intended receiver. There were 2 Huskies, or 2 Sun Devils there. And I'm not sure if they're going to get that on Sinkfield or on the safety who came across.
Well, Arizona State wants to see Jake Locker throwing it from the pocket, but Dennis Erickson told Michael Eaves he can hurt you there too. Pretty nice route by Johnson. He was well covered, and he could have caught that ball. Sinkfield was right there. I didn't see any contact.
I didn't either. That's a tough one. That's also the 11th penalty of the game. You see Dennis Erickson. I mean, he is hot, and he's got a good argument here, I think. There was no contact.
I can't tell who's more angry, Vontaze Burfict or Dennis Erickson. Jarrell Hallman came over. He was a little late coming over, and Sinkfield was pretty good on the coverage. And Pierre Sinkfield just can't believe it.
Well, he's got a perfect argument. I didn't see any contact.
We always talk about it, Barry. Football is not about having success all the time. It's about overcoming adversity. And Arizona State right now, whether just or unjust, is facing a lot of adversity. And this crowd is unhappy. Dennis Erickson's unhappy. The defense is unhappy.
A lot of unhappiness going on.
Yeah, there sure is, but they can't let it affect them. You got to go the next play. You can't get overly aggressive. You see Vontaze Burfict getting crazy out there.
Still woofing, isn't he?
You've got to relax. You've got to relax and play your assignments. This is not the type of game that you can get overly emotional in because Jake Locker will make you pay.
That's the 4th first down that Arizona State penalties have allowed. Big factor in the game. There's Pope, gets a little gap, and gets it down close to 15-yard line. Pick up at 7.
And that's a guy that's got to get going. That's a guy that's got to get going for Washington to have some success. And you're going to see Vontaze Burfict get blocked here, wasting a lot of energy between plays, and he gets cut down. That's Senio Clemente comes in and cuts down Vontaze Burfict, and that allows Chris Polk to get a nice gain on first down. That's what Washington's got to do if they're going to offensive success down the stretch in this game.
Washington coaches telling us about the upside of Clemente. He's just a sophomore. They say he's going to be big time. Second down and 3. Locker under center, and I think other movement might have been Nick Wood again. Look at Burfict.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
There's Burfict. Getting excited again. And Ryan Tolar, he's not having it. The captain. It's a true freshman and a big junior center just doesn't want to deal with it right now. A little bit too much exuberance for Vontez Burfict right now, but this A-State defense got to find something to pump him up. They had a lot of penalties on this drive, and they don't believe that they've been just.
We've had 12 penalties in this game. We're not at halftime yet. Locker throws, pick by Burfict, but a flag is down, so we'll see. I have an idea that this one also may go the other way. Let's see. I believe this is going to go against Arizona State.
That's what Jake Locker's saying. A lot of pressure on the play, and Locker threw it with a couple Sun Devils hanging on him. Nice play by Vontez Burfict, getting way back in that zone.
Prior to the change of position, personal foul, face mask on the defense. That penalty will be enforced in the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Getting his crowd all worked up, and Dennis Erickson is not having a good time.
Well, he didn't rip his headset off that time. He was just dumbfounded.
Burfict on the bench.
It's Corey Adams right there.
So Arizona State's defense has to come back out here. The 13th penalty of the game.
And there's a lot of hand play that goes on the inside there, and hands do slip up onto the neck and face mask area. It happens all the time. I didn't see anything overly dramatic that time to draw a flag.
Nor did I. But 5 first downs for Washington on Arizona State penalties. 5. 6 penalties on this drive. Empty backfield. Locker now throws to the end zone. Picked up. Intercepted by McFoy. So if you don't get it right the first time, do it again. Great play by Ryan McFoy.
Ryan McFoy played a lot of positions at Arizona State. Played safety, went back to play linebacker. When they got real thin at safety, they moved him back there. That time he did not bite. Jake Locker faking the quarterback draw and then trying to flip it into the middle of the field. And Ryan McFoy was all over, and Locker did not step into that throw intended for Aguilar. Just a great play by Ryan McFoy, whose older brother Chris played wide receiver at USC.
Second interception of the season for McFoy. Fourth rather of his career.
Great play by McFoy, and great resiliency shown by the Arizona State defense after all that adversity. They finally overcame it.
I'll say. At the 7-yard line. Here's Nance, right side. Nance gets a gap. Nance into the open. At the 20-25, out of bounds across the 30. Nate Fellner runs him out. Big play on first down. Pickup of 24.
And once again, you saw the brilliant footwork of Dimitri Nance. You're going to see him come to the side and then right back upfield. Just does a great job at that. That could have been a 5-yard run in a cloud of dust, but Dimitri Nance's ability with his feet to find the open field, to keep his eyes up the field as well. Pretty good. Looks great so far.
I'll say. This time he trips left. On first down, the ball at the 31-yard line. Sullivan out of the backfield for Nance. Nance steps outside the ball, gets to the 35 and across to the 36-yard line. And the Utes, of course, coming off an undefeated season a year ago and didn't seem to have quite the talent level that they had. But now they're ranked. They're playing great. Lost to Oregon. That's it. There's Nance again. Right up the gut. Nance to midfield. And Dimitri Nance is doing it all. Picks up 14.
Well, the Arizona State offensive line has had trouble protecting and trouble getting to push for about 3 years. Lots of injury problems on the O-line, but they're better than they were last year, and they're getting a nice push right now.
Nance now 6 carries, 44 yards, 72 yards rushing on our toasty total yards by Quiznos. Marshall comes into the ballgame for the first time now. First down, they mark it right at midfield. Good toss to Sullivan. Williams with a gap. Gets inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. They'll mark it at the 44, gain of 6.
Well, right now, the Arizona State offense has got the Huskies on their heels, and they're doing what they want. It's because of Dimitri Nance and the offensive line opening things up in the run game. You see a lot of heavy breathing on that Washington defense right now. They're having a tough time finding where that ball's going to go. It's going all over the place, and Danny Sullivan, once again, managing this game, playing with confidence.
Doing a great job. He's 9 of 11 for 88 yards so far. Playing flawless football. Second down, a very manageable 4. Huskies showing blitz. Flag comes down. This is going to go against the Huskies, and I think the Sun Devils might have preferred to have that flag not fall because Marshall looked like he might have a little room.
A lot of big vertical cutback lanes opening up right now for the Sun Devils.
Okay, ball start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
He's called. There have been so many penalties. The referee's losing his voice.
Well, it's John Hargis right here, and you're going to see him just shimmy his shoulders a little bit before he goes down to cut Donald Butler. Successful cut block, but that opened up a beautiful running lane. Unfortunate for Arizona State because that one was going to go.
Second down and 8. Sullivan steps up, throws, perfect pass once again. Catch. Hey, no, they're going to say no catch. Robinson could not hang on.
Washington's been on their heels. You see Dimitri Nance there. This was the first quarter. Nice reverse set up. TJ Simpson taking it for a big gain, and that set this up. You don't get to be the Pac-10 Coach of the Year at 3 different schools by not knowing how to set up a trick play. That time, Kyle Williams delivers the ball on the reverse action to TJ Simpson. And that really has got the Washington defense confused. Now, Arizona State, after loosening them up, is doing a great job running the football in the old Dennis Erickson zone gap scheme.
Absolutely. Here's a blitz. Sullivan steps up, throws, got it in. Robinson, a nice grab, ball was thrown behind him, still at his feet, inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Nate Williams makes the stop, a gain of 21, and another Sun Devil first down.
Terrell Robinson is the guy that knocked out Dennis Erickson last week in Pullman, Washington at Martin Stadium. Very strong-armed, strong-handed receiver. Really plays with a lot of power coming off the line of scrimmage, and that time coming right across the middle. Big target, 6'4", 230 pounds, and a pretty well-delivered ball by Danny Sullivan.
I thought a great grab. I saw it by Robinson and reach behind him.
Nice body control, nice adjustment.
First down at the 28. Here's a reverse again. This time it's coughed up, jumps right into the hands, however, of Miles. And Miles will get about a yard after all of that, but the bounce is certainly going away, if not the calls of the Sun Devils.
That reverse action has had the ball a little bit loose and fancy-free, and that time hit the ground right in front of Miles. Once again, Dimitri Nance is going to flip it very nonchalantly with his off arm to Miles. Put a little spin on it for Miles, and it bounced right off the ground and into the arms of Miles. E.J. Savannah making a pretty good play in pursuit.
So the net result is no gain at second down and 10, 28-yard line. Sullivan straight back. That was knocked down by the blitzing safety, Desmond Trufant. Well, our fearless predictions presented by Phillips HD, and we're talking about the middle linebacker of the Washington Huskies, Donald.
Want him to coming off the bus with those big old arms, and Donald Butler does that.
That is going to be called for a penalty right here, though.
He leads the team in tackles out of Sacramento, California. just a really strong player, and he's been through a lot of adversity, as have all these Huskies going winless last year. That's just something that's unheard of.
I think he was just doing a little woofing. I think the officials have tried to take hold of this game. Very emotional game. We have had an absolute passel of penalties. 15 penalties. And we've still got 6 minutes to play in the half. First down at the 14-yard line. Backfield on a quick toss this time. Losing the football. Ball still loose in the end zone. Still loose in the end zone. It goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Washington ball.
Kyle Williams showing a great deal of speed and now losing a little composure in the end zone after the fumble. Kyle Williams, really nice play on the screen, set up beautifully, and then just showing great acceleration, getting through the initial wave of the Washington defense, but unable to hang on, and that's the opportunistic style of the Washington defense. Mason Foster causing the fumble.
14-7, Sun Devils lead. We're coming back.
This
Quiznos double cheese cheesesteak. Toasty. And the first down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. At home with the O. Mill Street, just a couple of blocks from where we are here at Sun Devil Stadium in the heart of the University District here in Tempe, Arizona. There'll be thousands of people on the street tonight, I promise. Fogerson at tailback now for the Huskies. It was an 88-yard drive, but the Sun Devils only to come up empty on the fumble that went out of the end zone. Pass thrown behind Curse, but he made the catch close to a first down.
Sun Devils once again brought all the linebackers, which allowed Jake Locker to get the ball right over their heads. No zone to throw into. He was able to dump it right over Curse, and there you see what Washington's done on offense. The touchdown to start out on the beautiful throw by Locker, but after that, hadn't been very good, and it's because they can't get the run game going.
Second down and very short here, so kind of a free play for Jake Locker. Locker gives straight ahead this time on the dive Fogerson. He's going to get the first down. At about the 33-yard line, Dean DeLeon the ball game in a down line spot as Arizona State will rotate about 8 people on the D-line.
Well, they have tremendous depth, especially on the D-line and the linebacker position. In the secondary, they have some unique challenges, but there's no question this is one of the best front sevens in the country.
And it's good to have depth, especially on an evening like tonight. It's very warm here in the valley. There's a pitch to Ferguson. It's a couple. Good job once again defensively by Shelley Lyons.
And that crimson blur that went flying by Fogerson was Vontez perfect. He is not afraid to sacrifice his body, plays with his eyes, and he has a high football IQ, but man, does that kid just go flying through. And Washington's doing a pretty good job right now trying to establish that run game and open things up for Jake Locker later in the game or on this drive, but they need a better game here on second down so they can have a manageable third down.
Burkett came out of there limping a little bit also. There's Locker. This time has it almost picked out of his hand. Dropped the football, and it was recovered by the Huskies. Cody Hobbin made the recovery. Almost a great defensive play by James Brooks. I mean, almost a brilliant play.
Brooks is the strong side end, and Dexter Davis, the captain, who Michael East was talking about at the beginning of the game, is the rush end. James Brooks came with a pretty strong rush himself that time and almost just snatched it right out of Locker's hand.
So third down and a bunch. Locker straight back, pump fake. Now he steps up, throws, catch made by Aguilar. And a first down at the 45-yard line. Jarrell Holman and Locker really drilled that ball in there. A gain of 16. Holman on the stop.
Jake Locker throwing it downfield there. Pretty nice pass to Aguilar. Arizona State dropping back into coverage, getting a okay push on Jake Locker, but he's able to find a spot right in front of Jarrell Holman.
Well, at the 46-yard line, Aguilar comes in motion. Now a give this time to Ferguson. Ferguson will get about 3 yards. Shelly Lyons on the stop from his linebacker position. As right now, Sun Devils going largely with the second unit all across the down 7.
Well, we saw the interception by Ryan McFloy on Jake Locker when Washington was threatening, and since Florida did not record an interception today, ASU owns the NCAA's longest interception streak at 14 straight games with an interception. And Jake Locker's got to be wary of that, because they don't get a run game going and he starts trying to stretch the field. He might throw another pick before this day's over.
Second down and 7. There's Aguilar coming on a reverse this time. Aguilar will get it to about the 45-yard line, about a yard short of the first down. Mike Nixon staying with that. We go to the sidelines for the first time. Here's Michael Eaves. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, you guys are talking about the athleticism of Jake Locker. We're seeing it on the football field, but the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim think he's a great prospect on the baseball field. In fact, they drafted him, signed him to a $300,000 bonus. They're going to have his rights for the next 6 years. So if professional football doesn't work out, he's still got the Angels of professional baseball to fall back on.
Yeah, I think he's going to do okay, that fella.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Eaves was talking about it. He signed with the Angels, considered a top major league prospect, and his passing game has really blossomed under Steve Sarkisian, and his value in the 2010 NFL draft, would he come out, would probably be higher than Tim Tebow.
That's really interesting. He did not get enough for first down, we don't believe, on this. They're going to measure, but looks as though it may be a little short.
Well, the Huskies tried to go fast and catch the Devils off guard, that spectacular front 7. Arizona State was ready for that quarterback sneak, and they were ready for the Huskies trying to get the jump on them.
And it is, in fact, just a tad short. That much. And it'll be fourth down. I would suspect Steve Sarkisian will go here. Tough front to run against, though, these Sun Devils.
Second nationally against the run. Total rank of the defense is third nationally. Scoring defense 19th nationally. This is a Sun Devil team that's got a lot of swagger up front.
Going to I formation. Polk is the tailback. Sun Devils jumping around defensively. To give the fullback Homer, and I believe he got it. Paul Homer, a senior, been around a long time. Came to Washington, Omaha, Nebraska.
Pretty nice action in the backfield that time.
And Paul Homer is also our academic star. A 3.19 GPA in biology. He's in pre-med, wants to be a doctor. Says, I don't even think I'm going to bother with the combines or anything else. Not even going to try to play pro football. I'm going to take care of some of these guys.
Well, the world needs fullbacks, though. The NFL needs fullbacks.
More than doctors?
The fullback position is one of the great positions in football, and when teams don't have a fullback, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the same kind of football team if they don't have a fullback, you know?
Huskies are going to call a timeout here with 1 minute and 44 seconds remaining in the half.
Trying to chip their way down the field and get a score before the half.
You know, against Washington State last week, Arizona State's defense had 26 running plays for either no gain or negative yardage. 5 so far tonight against the Huskies. Locker steps up. Now he throws underneath. Catch made by Aguilar and stopped at the 30-yard line. But another first down, but a flag is down again back at the 46-yard line.
So you might make some catches against this Arizona State D, but they punish you. Man, do they punish you.
Well, I thought that was a flag on the field. And I believe it is a flag on the field. And here's the conversation regarding that flag.
There are two fouls on the play. both fouls on the offense. Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense, number 9. He also touched the pass, which is illegal touching. Penalty for either of those fouls is 5 yards from the previous spot, and we will replay first down.
Must have been the way he lined up.
It's a lineup mistake by Washington, and Steve Sarkisian trying to get his guys lined up. A very young, talented team of the Huskies at the skill position. Lots of guys for Jake Locker to throw the ball to, but that time they had a little trouble lining up.
16th penalty of the game, 8 on each team here in the first half. There's a play fake and Locker in trouble. And he finally throws it away. Did so just as he was being wrapped up.
Well, Locker trying to set up a screen, but Lawrence Guy and James Brooks coming so hard at him that it was very difficult for him just to get outside enough to do it. You see Lawrence Guy. Wow.
That's been the story of the night so far. First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% off brand names every day at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home with the O. So it'll be 2nd and 15. Minute 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Locker throws. The catch made this time by Curse at about the 38-yard line. It's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down. Singfield defending. I'll tell you what, Locker really zipped that ball out there. That's a hard pass to throw.
He got it out there. He can throw that big boy out. There's no question about it. He's got the arm strength to do it. But the quick throws are what's being more successful right now for the Huskies because of the pass rush from Arizona State. It's just too much for Washington to handle. Dexter Davis, the captain on the edge that time, would have gotten to Locker if he took one more second to throw that football.
10 of 17, 128 yards, the numbers for Jake Locker. We have a clock issue. The clock never started on that play. So now they'll take 10 seconds off. The clock starts again. Huskies still have 2 timeouts. Sun Devils have all 3. Locker goes under center on 3rd down. Now they empty the backfield. Locker straight back. Look out. And a great catch by Aguilar. Tough catch and tough throw. Nixon makes the stop. They were coming hard on Locker.
Well, it was a nice play, nice setup by Steve Sarkisian because they line up Devin Aguilar in the backfield, and then he shifts out, and you have a mismatch. Mike Nixon, the linebacker, on Devin Aguilar, the wide receiver. He's able to run a nice slant in front of him. A great throw by Locker.
They go without huddle this time. Now we get whistles again. And we'll see what this is all about.
There is no request for a timeout.
Well, now the clock is ticked down to 36 seconds, so well, they're just going to go from here.
It's certainly been a haphazard first half, but Washington do a good job right now of holding on to the ball.
Huskies still have 2 timeouts. And a diving attempt that time by Aguilar. The ball just a little wide for him, so now the clock will stop with 25 seconds remaining.
And that's a good situation for Washington. Incomplete passes sometimes, especially late in the half or late in the game, are good. Stops the clock, especially on first down. You can huddle up, you can regroup, you can take a deep breath and try to dial up something you think that will work.
13 plays on this drive. It's taken 5.5 minutes off the clock, and again, the officials consult.
Lots of consultation tonight.
I'll say. If they were lawyers, they'd be rich.
Dennis Erickson seems a little bemused at this point. All the penalties, and Steve Sarkisian also confused. Trying to get Locker's attention.
I think everybody's confused here. Now we're going to bring the back judge and the field judge in to consult. Dennis Erickson, he's got to be thinking, what is going on here? Officiating crew, Jack Wood, a veteran referee, really had his hands full tonight.
Please set the game clock to 28 seconds. The play clock to 25. Start the play clock on my whistle.
All right, there's the whistle. Now the play clock starts. 27 seconds on the game clock. Situation is 2nd and 10. The ball's at the 30-yard line. Now we're going to stop play again here.
Clock should be set to 28 seconds.
They had 27 on the clock, and now we got to make it 28. And they'll have to reset the play clock also.
I trust that all these communication issues will be ironed out by halftime.
They'll consult.
Yep.
The situation remains the same. 28 seconds remaining in the first half. Washington still has 2 timeouts. The ball's at 30-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Locker this time rolls one way, in trouble, has to unload it earlier than he wanted to. It was going to be a screen to Fulgerson, but Locker just had to unload the football.
Sun Devils doing a great job in the screen game against Washington.
Here's our DirecTV game summary. Numbers on Sullivan: 11 of 15, 123 yards. And he ran for a touchdown. Locker 11 of 20, 35 yards, and had that touchdown pass for the first Husky score. Almost 400 yards from scrimmage, but
A lot of penalties.
a lot of penalties.
A lot of talking about the penalties. A lot of talk about the clock. Everybody's just trying to get everything ironed out.
Blitz comes again, and Locker has to unload again. They're really getting after Jake Locker. And it brings up 4th down.
Without Washington being able to run the ball consistently, and now it's getting late in the game, late in the half, for Washington to really try to get their zone game going. Arizona State really able to just pin their ears back and bring their linebackers and twist their very good defensive ends and really harass Jake Locker.
So Folk will come out and try a 48-yard field goal. He's 9 of 10 this year. This one is on its way, and a flag is down again. The field goal is good. This is going to go against Washington. I think maybe a timeout was called. Let's see.
Okay, prior to the snap, timeout, Arizona State. There is no foul on the play for leaping, as all of the action occurred after the timeout had been called.
These guys are really having a time tonight.
It's one of those nights, it seems, or at least one of those halves right now. And it seems like every play stoppage is frustrating the crowd because there's been so much in the first half and many penalties going against the Sun Devils.
And so now, Eric Folk is going to have to try this all over again. He makes a 48-yarder. And now he gets to do it again. In a very unusual first half. A little bit of everything, including some pretty good football.
Well, ultimately, after the very nice pass by Jake Locker to start out the scoring in the first quarter, the Arizona State defense has really stepped up, and they've done a very good job. They've been a little exuberant, especially their true freshman middle linebacker, Vontaze Burfict, at times, but they have really played with a great deal of effort, a great deal of violence, and really harassed Jake Locker, made it hard for him.
So Folk, after having made a 48-yarder, his longest of the year, incidentally, was 46, and now again we get a stoppage. And Arizona State's going to take another timeout.
Arizona State.
They still have one remaining, so a lot of jawing going on both sides. And they're just kind of letting Eric Folk cool his heels again. Let's take our active drive around campus, and that's University Avenue. We just made an illegal U-turn.
Yeah, looks like it, and there it is, Sun Devil Stadium.
Hall of Fame right here at the ASU Center of Sports History. And there is a great history of sports here. I'm going all the way back to Byron Whizzer White. Tell you, every campus that we go on now, in the Pac-10 Conference, getting improving. So here we are, 48-yard field goal try again. This time he missed it. So after all of that, Arizona State's going to get the ball back with about 15 seconds remaining. Folk made a 48-yarder. ASU called a last-second timeout, so that came off the board. Then they iced him by calling another timeout, and then he shanked it.
That was a good job by Dennis Erickson, and look how excited he gets here. He knows he iced that kicker. Dennis Erickson with some very good coaching calls in this first half. The reverse, and then setting up the reverse pass for a touchdown, and that time icing Eric Folk. Eric Folk, who hit one pretty big field goal earlier in the year to beat USC.
I'll say he did. And they'll just take a knee here. And that's the way the first half will come to an end. And as you said, it was 30 minutes of football that had absolutely a little bit of everything. Let's go to the sidelines right now. Michael Eaves with Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, Barry, Steve, you knew that defense would be a challenge. They're really being disruptive in your backfield right now.
We're not playing very well. That's the bottom line.
How about their offense? Really throwing a lot of tricks, those screen plays around the sides?
Yeah, we just got to tackle. When it's there, we got to be able to tackle people.
Obviously, it's been a frustrating half for Steve Sarkisian, guys. They're down 14-7.
Friday. And the first down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. At home with the O. And you look inside Sparky's Stadium Shop. You can get Sparky stuffies. You can get a nice Sparky bathrobe.
There he is.
There's Sparky. Sparky's growing a mustache inside.
Looks good.
Yeah, I like it.
Errol Flynn.
Adolph Manjou. Pass is complete this time to Nance, and Nance will get a big first down. The ball comes loose, but Nance was already down by contact. A pickup of 16, and again Sullivan coming through on a big play.
Well, he's been a little beat up here locally in the media. A lot of people talking about the freshman, Brock Osweiler. We talked about it in the first half. Danny Sullivan just trying to hang in there and manage the game. And he's been playing very well, stepping up and throwing with a lot of confidence and really managing this offense and getting a lot of help from Dimitri Nance.
Ball at the 41-yard line. Quick toss this time. Williams can't hang on. He'll jump on it just to make sure that that was not a lateral. It was not.
And that ball a little off the mark.
That play really worked pretty successfully in the first half, and it looked like that one might too.
Well, they're blocking it pretty well and developing it on the edge. Williams had the unfortunate for Arizona State fumble. And you see him come up.
Little hitch in his giddy up.
Yeah, just a little bit here. He looks like he hit his knee just trying to turn around and catch that ball.
He's still limping as he comes to the slot on the left side here. Sullivan straight back, looks that way, throws for Taylor, makes the catch at midfield. About a yard short of the first down. Adam Long wraps him up. It'll be 3rd and short.
Kerry Taylor wanted that ball a little bit closer to his numbers so he could put a move on Long, but that ball was a little high by Danny Sullivan. Taylor had to go way up and get it, and that did not enable him to get the first down. Now the Sun Devils dealing with a 3rd and short.
They've had great success on 3rd downs. They're 4 of 5 tonight. This one just a yard. And Samson Zaxby is the quarterback here. And here's the option. And almost lost that flag down. And so is Nance, and a loss of 5 yards. An absolute busted play in every regard.
That was the first game action for Samson.
Personal foul. Defense, number 40. Helmet contact with an opponent.
And just as penalties cost the Sun Devils early, Mason Foster sticks Shakashi.
The personal foul penalty will be enforced 15 yards from the end of the play. We also have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the defense.
Wow.
That penalty will be enforced after the penalty for the dead ball, for the personal foul.
30 yards.
Well, the officials are trying to get control of this football game, and there you see Nick Holt trying to get the spirits of his defense back up. Mason Foster actually made the right play other than going for the head of Stakaski. You're supposed to force the pitch. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, but you can't hit him in the head.
that point an additional 15 yards.
30 yards. Let's go to Michael Eaves. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, that second penalty was actually on the coaching staff for the University of Washington. Nick Holt, Steve Sarkisian, several guys from that sideline ran onto the field, and the official on the near sideline was the one who threw the penalty, telling the coach that they can't be on the field. A lot of emotions are running high on both these sidelines with all these penalties being called on both teams.
And we got a long way to go in this football game. 10 penalties now against the Huskies for 95 yards, and ASU, who seemed to get every flag dropped against them early on, now 8 penalties for 84 yards. So the Huskies have been penalized more yards than the Sun Devils.
Well, in the first half, you saw Dennis Erickson just livid on the sideline, and now Nick Holt and Steve Sarkisian taking that gig over in the second half and getting way out and costing their team 15 yards.
Sullivan back at quarterback, steps out of a tackle, and now he's dragged down by Daniel Teonesai. Second sack for the Huskies and a loss of about 8.
It was a nice try by Danny Sullivan to get away from Daniel Teonesai, but Nesheim is just too strong, and he's got pretty good feet for a big, strong guy, 6'4", 263 pounds. Sullivan able to miss him the first time, but Nesheim stays after him. Gets him down. Teonesai, Waikola, Hawaii. He is a guy that can eat like there's no tomorrow. They say he puts on a show at training table every single day. One of the strongest players in the Pac-10 and one of the hardest players in the Pac-10, captain of the defense.
Sullivan throws again all day. He throws underneath, catch made by Williams, inside the 20-yard line, about the 21. So they got back what they lost on the last play, +1, Foster and Long on the stop for the Huskies. It will bring about a 3rd down and 9. Hey, you tried to snatch a burger out of the hands of Teonesai last night. He wouldn't let go.
No, I didn't mean to. I just was trying to throw away his bag of food, but there was still a burger in there. I mean, he really does eat a lot. 19 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. That was his 3rd sack of the season. Huskies Defensive Player of the Year in 2007 and 2008.
Sullivan straight back. Got time. Now it's out. He lost the football. Ball still loose, but the Sun Devils get it back. Daniel Teonesai coming on a push again. And it is recovered by John Hargis, the left guard.
And once again, it was Teonesai coming off the edge and just taking out Danny Sullivan, popping that ball clean out. And it's not enough these days. We've been talking about it all season. It's not enough when you get a clear shot at the quarterback. Not enough just to get him down and make the sack. Defensive coordinators want that ball out as well.
So now Weber is going to come on to try what will be a 41-yard field goal. He was kicking him from about this distance in warm-ups. And he drives it, but it is wide to the right. He just can't quite follow through, so he has to kind of punch it. Not the usual style that he has.
You're going to see him slip just a little bit. Thomas Weber.
We're coming back, 14-7. We welcome you back. A 14-7 ball game, 10:34 remaining 3rd quarter. The Huskies will have it for the first time. And they'll go with a little more protection now as they go with 2 tight ends, Mario Middleton and Chris Isbecki here. Locker was under siege in the first half, sacked 3 times, hit 8 times, forced out of the pocket 7 times. Give on first down to Polk, and he didn't get much. Travis Gallo on the stop. Jake Locker, here's who we're talking about.
He started the game out beautifully with that throw to Aguilar. Great play call by Steve Sarkisian, and that really got Washington rolling. But after that, the Arizona State defense just shackling Jake Locker. The nice pick by McFoy. We've not seen him use his legs very much, and he's not had a great deal of success throwing the ball from the pocket, and Washington hadn't been able to run the ball very well. This Arizona State defense living up to the billing.
Sure are. Play fake, Locker, a screen to Polk, and he can't hang on. That was going to be a quick little screen.
None of the screen game has worked for Washington thus far.
I'm not sure that one would have worked either had he caught the ball.
But it
really seems like Arizona State's got a great balance against these Washington screens. They have people rushing and hurrying Locker where he's not comfortable throwing the screens, and they have the backs covered as well. They really are doing great in the front seven. And Craig Bray, Arizona State defensive coordinator, just told us how good this front seven is and how much depth they have, and a great mix. There's Coach Bray right there. Great mix of older guys and younger guys. He's really wreaking havoc right now.
Third down. About 8. Locker throws, catches made, first down and much more. Aguilar will get it close to the 45-yard line.
And that's the second time in this football game that Aguilar has been matched up with the Will linebacker and captain of the team, Mike Nixon. There you see Mike Nixon picking him up on the zone, trying to get across the field, and he's never going to win that battle. A good job by Nixon just getting Aguilar down at the end of the play, but a 230-pound linebacker who's 26 years old is not going to run with a guy like that.
4 catches, 94 yards for Aguilar. Nothing doing for Pope. James Brooks just not allowing him to get started. They're really quick off the ball defensively.
And what the Devils have done with that quickness thus far in this football game, Barry, has not allowed Washington, even though they've had some big plays here and there, like the one to Aguilar just then, they've not allowed them to get in a rhythm. They've not allowed Jake Locker to feel comfortable in the football game thus far, and that's what a good defense does.
Second down and 12. Straight back. Late blitz comes. Pass is caught by Curse. No. Going to say it hit the ground first.
Comes to the Pac-10. It could be one of these two teams. I mean, it's not out of the question. It could be Arizona. It could be Oregon State. It could be Stanford, but they'd have to get it going a little bit more. USC is looking pretty strong after a victory today.
Arizona.
No jokes.
Blitz comes. They pick the blitz up this time. Locker throws underneath for Polk. And Polk is going to be well short of the first down. Short of midfield. Saya Falahola dropping into coverage that time and making the stop.
I'll tell you what, so far it's been strength against a bit of a weakness. This Washington offensive line had the steepest learning curve to deal with coming into the season, and this better Arizona State front seven is just making it really hard.
Will Mahan on to do the punting. Kyle Williams, the deep man for the Sun Devils. And a high twisting kick, pretty good kick. Williams fair catch at the 6-yard line. So the Sun Devils will have to go a long way. 44-yard punt, no return. Devils lead it 14-7. We're coming back. Marshall in the backfield with him. This is Marshall, and Marshall cuts it back, gets some room, gets the 20, still on his feet, shakes tackles to the 30, gets the outside. He could go at the 40, midfield, to the 45, 40, 35, cuts in at the 30, still on his feet, and run down from behind at the 18-yard line by Mason Foster. 75 yards.
A great run by Cameron Marshall. 10'6", 100 sprinter, and he showed all that speed. A true freshman out of San Jose, California. The cutback lane was there. Iowa misses him. Quentin Richardson misses him. And it looks like he ran out of gas a little bit there, but the cutback was there. Just a very simple zone play, and it's going to come right in behind Sean Laval, who does a good job sealing off the side. And man, that kid can really run. Cameron Marshall with a big shot in the arm for the Arizona State offense, getting them out of their own territory and deep into Washington territory.
Well, I'll say it. You can see he had 82 yards the entire season prior to that 75-yard run. He stays in the game.
Longest run of his career, longest run of the A-State season.
They give it to him again on the same play. He pops a tackle, gets down about the 13-yard line.
I don't know which run is more impressive. I mean, the long run obviously is a great run, and the guy's got great speed, but to stay in the game as a true freshman after running all that way with those pads on and running by people, and then getting about 7 yards and taking it to Donald Butler at the end of the play is Cameron Marshall, something else.
See what Arizona State has done on the ground. 144 yards. The Huskies just have not been able to run against the Sun Devil defense. Just 34 yards. Now Nance comes back in the ball game. Second down and 5. This is Nance. Stutter steps. Again, he breaks it inside the 10. He'll get it down to about the 6-yard line. It's going to be a first down. E.J. Savannah makes the stop, but some shoddy tackling going on right now with the Huskies.
Dimitri Nance really runs the ball with his feet, just kind of disappearing behind players and then popping back out. Watch the footwork of Dimitri Nance. Really able to run with patience and get behind John Hargis for a nice positive gain. Pretty good 1-2 punch developing right now for the Arizona State backfield with Cameron Marshall, the speed at freshman, and the ability with the feet of Dimitri Nance. Very nice.
I'll say. First down and goal. The ball just outside the 6-yard line. Nance again, not this time. Nance is stopped just as he gets the handoff. Maybe gained a half yard.
And that was Daniel Teo Nesheim getting a nice hold of Dimitri Nance and taking him down with some help from his friends.
Crichton making the tackle.
The last drive that Arizona State had, they began to threaten after a 30-yard penalty for Washington, 2 penalties. And Daniel Teo Nesheim stopped that drive with 2 straight sacks. Let's see if they can do it again.
Second down and goal. The ball just outside the 6-yard line. Give this to Marshall. Marshall is stopped immediately. So 2 plays for no gain. And now it's 3rd and goal to Amun Crichton on the tackle for. Now it's 3rd down and goal. And the ball actually back at about the 7-yard line. So loss of about a half yard on that play. 2 tight ends for the Sun Devils, and Sullivan goes from under center. Straight back, looks to the end zone. Now he throws a swing too tall, intended for Nance.
Danny Sullivan had Dimitri Nance a little earlier in this route. And he's a little late on this throw, looking too far downfield at his primary receiver. Then he comes off to Dimitri Nance, who wouldn't have had much yardage anyway if he had caught that ball.
So Weber will come on after the Husky defense digs in, following a couple of big plays by Marshall.
Another big victory for the Huskies D just to force a field goal here.
Absolutely. 24-yard effort for Weber. And it is perfect. So the Sun Devils get 3 out of it. They lead it 17-7, and we're coming back after this. Kickoff headed for Johnson, short kick. And Homer, the up man, takes it away from him and gets it back to about the 28-yard line. That could have been very dangerous had the 2 collided. Let's go to the sideline right now. Michael Eaves. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, after giving up that long play and holding Arizona State to a field goal, you would think defensive coordinator Nick Holt was, pretty happy with that effort. But before they even came off the field, he stopped safety Nate Williams and safety Victor Iowa to talk to those guys, and he was still mad at what happened on that long run to start that drive. So he was satisfied with them only getting 3, but he reminded those guys of how they got down here in the first place. A lot of emotion is on these sidelines. I keep saying that, but for a college football game, everything's at a fever pitch down here right now.
Well, it starts with that guy right there, I think. Nick Holt, very emotional coach. Huskies will start at the 28. Throws, catch made by Polk, and the flag comes in. Flag thrown at about the 31-yard line. And again, the consultation amongst the officials.
Pass interference. Offense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. half the distance from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Well, essentially a pick play here.
They're going to see number 3, James Johnson, coming and picking Brandon McGee, and just not enough acting there. You got to act like you're getting in the guy's way instead of blocking him, and that's not what the freshman James Johnson did. Incidentally, that run that Michael Eaves was talking about, longest run by a Sun Devil since Keegan Herring ran 76 yards versus Washington on October 13th of 2007. Longest run for the Sun Devils in 24 games. Very impressive.
Now first down and 24. Rolls out under pressure. Kites went up here. The catch was made by Fulgerson. It's going to be a gain of about 6 yards on the play. He's second down. It's still a long way to go.
Well, we were all talking to Dennis Erickson yesterday, and he told us we've done very well moving the ball up and down the field against Oregon State in all the games. They've been able to move the ball with Danny Sullivan at quarterback, but getting inside the red zone, they've had a lot of trouble punching it in, and they've left the door open for the most talented player in the conference, Jake Locker, if he can get it going.
Absolutely. Second down, 18. Locker throws through off his heels. Catch made by Aguilar. But it's still going to be third down and 10. Well, the first and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop at the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. Aguilar now 5 catches for 102 yards, including the lone touchdown.
This is a big down for Washington. They got to find a way to gash this very strong Arizona State front 7 and get some confidence going.
Third down and 10.
Might have to come on the legs of Jake Locker.
Yeah, I can see a quarterback draw here. And now he steps out, and now he's going to throw. He's got a man. It's Aguilar makes the catch at the 45, caught from behind by Vontez Burfict. And a gain of 31, a huge play, and it was the legs of Locker.
It did come on the legs of Jake Locker, able to flush out of the pocket and bring that front 7 of the Arizona State Sun Devils up towards him, and then just with an unbelievable touch, able to drop it into Aguilar, and he gets down the field, and that was the play that Washington needed. Let's see if it clicks their offense in to a little bit more rhythm against this defense.
First down at the 41-yard line. Locker straight back on first down. The catch made by the freshman Johnson. And he steps out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A gain of 9. Terrell Carr runs him out. About a yard short, maybe even less than a yard short.
Now this is the rhythm that Washington needed. Get a nice gain there on first down, second and short.
I do like to run that quarterback draw a lot, and with the team that blitzes as much as ASU does, I trust at some point we will see that. Locker throws a slant, a great catch by Curse. That was a tough catch, had to reach behind him on a bullet and pulled it down.
Well, Arizona State comes with a blitz on the edge, and Vontez Burfict trying to get in the way of that throw to Curse, leading with his head, leading his feet, and Locker able to slide it in there, a bang-bang play, and a nice second down pickup of a first down by Washington, and a fresh set of downs for the Huskies, and I think they do have their rhythm after that third down play.
At the 23-yard line of the Sun Devils. 17-7 ball game. Arizona State leads. Quick toss to Goodwin, drops it. We talked about Locker, who, for all his skills, was not a high percentage passer in the past. And this year, he's just markedly improved in that department.
Well, Steve Sarkisian's helped him out a lot with his footwork, with his ability to play with his eyes, with his ability when he is scrambling, like we saw in the third down play a little while back, keeping his eyes upfield and still keeping his ability to throw an option.
Give the Poke this time, and Poke bounces it off, and he's gone. This is going to be a touchdown for the Huskies. Poke just bounced off a tackler, took it 23 yards to the end zone, and it's 17-13 pending the extra point.
talked about Chris Polk and the strength that he's gained. We talked about it in the first half, but frankly, not really able to get much going at all up to that point against this Arizona State defense. And that time he takes a big hit at the line of scrimmage, keeps his feet, bounces it off, and there the lane was.
A try for point now by Fulton. Makes it a 17-14 ball game with 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. Bounced right off that try. I believe it was Burfict.
Burfict not wrapping up. You got to use your fingers, and Gaethel had a shot at his legs. Got to wrap up and tackle bigger than that. Vontaze Burfict, the freshman, delivers the big hit, but a big hit sometimes doesn't work against a Pac-10 Division I running back, and it didn't work that time against Chris Polk. He takes the hit, absorbs it, gets Travis Gaethel off his legs. Both Arizona State excellent linebackers missing the tackle, and Polk bouncing free, and you see the look of purpose on the face of Chris Polk after that run. Maybe got him going for the fourth quarter.
Well, a very effective drive. Started, remember, the 15-yard penalty that gave them a 1st and 24. Miles and Floyd will be the deep men to receive this kick.
UW able to overcome that adversity with a big third down throw to Aguilar by Jake Locker, and then it went from there.
Locker 5 of 6 on that drive for 49 yards, including a 23-yard run by Polk. High end-over-end kick. This is going to go about 5 yards deep, and Miles will try it. And the Sun Devils will start at the 20-yard line.
I would expect the Sun Devils to go back to that shotgun zone with Cameron Marshall or Dimitri Nance, who's in the game right now, and try to loosen up Washington's defense once again.
Went pretty well the last time. Oh, the Huskies did adjust to it. Here's Nance trying to take it to the outside. There's the cutback, but not allowing it for a moment was Mason Foster. No gain on first down.
Well, if I knew it was coming, I guess UW knew it was coming too. Great job by Foster, and then cleaning up at the end, Daniel Teo Nesheim.
There's a look at Nick Holt. Calls himself a sprinter. He must put on about 8 miles during the game, just running up and down the sideline.
He gets up and down there. He coaches with a great deal of fire and emotion, and he really loves his players. The biggest problem for him, first string's pretty good, but it's been hard developing depth on this Washington defense.
Play fake, Sullivan will go up, steps up, in trouble, down he goes. It was Desmond Trufant coming on a corner blitz that time that wrapped up Sullivan. 4th sack for the Huskies.
Nick Holt dialing it up. You're going to see Desmond Trufant wearing number 6 coming in, trying to slap the ball out too. That's a heads-up play by a true freshman who's been playing very well. Of course, older brother Marcus, cornerback at Washington State, now with the Seahawks, and Desmond Trufant's been a big bonus for this Washington defense, making a big impression as a true freshman.
And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. So we got ourselves a football game here with 15 minutes of action remaining to be played. Arizona State Sun Devils lead it by 3, but it does seem as though the Huskies are starting to get a little bit of momentum on both sides of the football. 1 quarter of football remaining, and a look at the scoreboard shows the Sun Devils 17 and the Huskies 14. We're coming back after this. Washington with a last carry for Polk into the end zone for a touchdown to make it a 3-point game. And a big play here, 3rd and 10. Sullivan straight back with time, steps up, throws, incomplete. Intended for McGahey, who's back in the ball game. He's played very little, did not practice all week. We mentioned he had the flu earlier in the week, and it's very warm out there, and I'm sure that's a factor.
He just doesn't look like himself, and that throw by Sullivan off the mark, and what a huge momentum swing that we've had in this football game. You know, the Washington team that we've seen in the past, especially last year's team, you know, they would have crumbled by now, but this is a team now that this game is winding down and coming to it, they are really bringing it.
Well, you can really sense a momentum swing. You touched upon it. Ferguson runs up, juggles it, loses it. Sun Devils have it. What a huge turn right there. And the man who jumped on it was churn of events. Interestingly enough, Washington very seldom tries to run punts back. They've only run 2 back all year.
Corey Ferguson just misjudged that and got a little too far under that ball, and it hit him on the chest plate of his shoulder pads and bounced right off. Wasn't able to get his hands on the football. Just a critical error for Steve Sarkisian's team, and you just can't do that in a heated Pac-10 contest in the 4th quarter.
Huge play. Play fake, and Sullivan on the keeper is stopped. A nice ankle tackle by Adam Long. Long's having a nice game, actually. Has played most of the game for Quentin Richardson, who is normally the starter.
Been a very sure tackler. And Desmond Trufant, the true freshman on the other side, has been doing a pretty good job at corner as well. Washington defense starting to come together. Certainly not the strength of the football team, and neither is their offensive line, but man, they're playing with effort. I mean, Steve Sarkisian and Nick Holt have these guys playing with effort and playing with belief in victory. It's tough on the road like this.
2nd down and 7. This is Marshall. Stopped from behind on a great play by Darian Jones. Huge play. (17-14) ball game. We're just starting the 4th period of play. Nice crowd on hand here at Sun Devil Stadium. Huskies scored first, and the Sun Devils came back with 17 unanswered. Huskies came back with a long drive of their own. They scored to make it a 17-14 ball game. Just when it looked like the Huskies were getting momentum, a fumbled punt. Sun Devils get it back, but now they're looking at a 3rd down and 11. The game is all teed up for somebody to take. And the Sun Devils, and this could be significant, P, call their 2nd timeout of the half. They will only have 1 timeout remaining. They lead by 3. Looking at a 3rd down when we come back. (17 points. They've turned the ball over 10 times this year, but in those 10 turnovers, they've only given up 17 points, so they dig in.
Pretty good recovery by Nick Holt's defense.
Sullivan in trouble, steps up, hit as he throws. Nobody's going to get it. Sullivan took a real shot.
Great pressure by the front 4. Daniel Teo Nesheim bearing down, and E.J. Savannah coming on like a green dog blitz, getting a good piece of Sullivan. And Washington seems to have recovered from the mistake, and they took Fogerson out. Aguilar's in to receive this punt.
So Aguilar stands down at the 10-yard line. High twisting kick. Aguilar getting out of the way of it. And it will land just in the end zone. Touchback. It will come out to the 20-yard line. Right now, freecreditreport.com sideline report with Michael Eaves. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, you and Petros were just talking about it before that muff on that punt, giving the ball back to Arizona State. There has been a momentum swing down here in the field towards the Washington sidelines, and it all started, of course, on their last offensive drive. Jake Locker made big play. Of course, Polk took it in for the touchdown. But when the team got back to the sidelines, they were talking exactly what Petros was talking about, the rhythm, the tempo. They thought if they played at this tempo, it's to their advantage and to the disadvantage of Arizona State. Even the guys said they're getting tired. Their entire demeanor has changed. Washington believes they have all the momentum right now.
Well, we'll see as they start at the 20-yard line. They trail by 3. Time not any kind of a factor. Here's that draw play we talked about. Locker, 25-30, trying to get the outside. And a great stop and a saving tackle that time by Jarrell Holman. Locker, of course, has that deceptive speed. He's about a 4.4.
Well, he can jump outside so quickly. Watch how quick he gets to the sideline. And it's that acceleration and then the second acceleration getting away from Ryan McFoy that separates Jake Locker from every other quarterback in college football. Tim Tebow is a great runner, but he's not going to give you a 56-yard touchdown run. He just doesn't have that kind of speed. Jake Locker does.
Showed it to you right there. There's that bunch formation. First down at the 38-yard line. Give us to Polk. Not going to get away this time. Slipped by 1 man. Picked up maybe a yard.
It's Gerald Munns who backs up Vontez Burfict.
And Pierre Sinfield also there to help. Fogerson comes back into the lineup now for the Huskies with Polk.
And now that the game is hanging in the balance like you were talking about, Barry, I would expect Steve Sarkisian to let Jake Locker loose again with another couple quarterback draws. His legs right now are the biggest weapon in this football game.
Locker with an empty backfield. There's the draw play again, and there's Locker getting ahead for a gain of about 5. And it'll be 3rd down and 4. First and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. At Overstock.com, our award-winning customer service will make you feel at home with the O. Big play right here for the Huskies. 3rd down and 4. 6 of 12 in 3rd down conversions in this game.
Might run the draw again.
Yeah, there's nobody in the middle. It's a screen. And the catch made by Johnson, but not well executed as Johnson had to come back for that ball. A loss of 4 yards, and the Huskies will have to give it up.
And a good job by Pierre Singfield not biting on that screen. The screen game has not worked at all for the Huskies and Steve Sarkisian in this football game. Singfield really sniffed it out. The pressure on Jake Locker has been immense when they screen, and it just has not paid any dividends at all for the Huskies. Well defensed by Arizona State.
So the Sun Devils will get it back. Williams will be the deep man. A high, twisting, relatively short kick. Fair catch called for. Made by Williams, then he dropped it. After 25, and it bounced back into his hands. 35-yard punt, and the flag is down. And we'll see. Let's see what it is.
I don't know if he gave him enough room.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did.
That's Adam Long. Similar play earlier today in a USC Notre Dame game.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Number 6, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And I think it was Adam Long and not true foul. He'll jump away. Off a little bit gimpy after that last series, but he's back in there and appears to be okay.
This is a big drive for A-State because you can just get the feeling that the Washington offense is coming on.
They line Nance up in the slot to the right side. Empty backfield. Sullivan steps up, throws to Nance. Makes the catch for a gain of about 5. E.J. Savannah on the tackle. And look at this, the New York Yankees, they trailed at one time, trailed late in the game, took it into extra innings, come from behind again, they win it 4-3. Destiny, huh? What do you think?
I suppose.
Pretty good team, 1 through 9, I'd say.
Well, the baseball playoffs, I mean, they're crazy to me because it's such a long season, it's such a grind, and then it all comes down to just a few plays at the end of the year. It just can be heartbreaking or just overjoyful.
McGahey back in the ballgame, split to the far side. And the give is to Nance, and Nance gets it going in the right direction and fights for the first down and might have gotten it. I believe he did right at midfield.
I'm really impressed with Dimitri Nance, and it starts with what I've been harping on all game, his feet. He just gives himself a great opportunity because his feet are so good. That time stopping a little bit and then starting again. And a lot of backs that have good feet, they're not the most physical backs out there, but Dimitri Nance does a good job of, after he gets going upfield, getting down and getting extra tough yards and fought for that first down. I'm very impressed with this back today. He's
accounted for 98 yards, 56 on the ground, 42 in pass receptions. Ball right at midfield, first down. Pass this time, Miles spins away from the tackle. Now he's got room. 40, 35, 34-yard.
Tangled up with the bike there.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not. And a 17 on the play. Big play. Font ran him out. Nice move. Nice move right there, too.
Yeah, he's had a couple pretty nice spin moves and been able to shake tacklers a couple times on the perimeter. You got to look out for that exercise bike on the sideline. That's a tough obstacle. It's always fun to watch a true freshman in the open field and, you know, just the exuberance. They find themselves there making plays.
So first down at the 34-yard line. Remember, they do have kicking issues a long way. Should they not be able to advance the ball much further, and they do, in fact, get it inside the 30. A pretty good push that time by the offensive line of the Sun Devils. Nance picks up close to 4 yards.
Well, throughout the game, we've seen Arizona State really threaten and get deep into Washington territory and then be unable to convert, whether it's missing a field goal or having a turnover like they did with Kyle Williams' fumble in the first half. They've really got to find a way to convert here and take control back of this football game because, like I said, Jake Locker and this Washington offense is starting to look more and more comfortable. You don't want to leave those guys with an opportunity to win the game. Just ask USC.
2nd down and 7. Empty backfield, Sullivan. And here comes the blitz. Sullivan unloads it. Catch is made for a first down. And it was Jarrell Robinson at 6'3", 6'4", and 230 who made that catch.
It was a good job by Danny Sullivan recognizing the blitz and getting the ball out. And he spread the ball around very well to a plethora of receivers and backs in this game. And he's looking a lot better.
First down at the 21-yard line. 6 different players have caught passes now for Arizona State tonight. McGahey goes to the far side. He's not caught. Sullivan's going to throw. Steps up, throws for McGahey, and one hopped.
And that's a throw that Danny Sullivan's got to make. It's from the far hash. Daniel Teo-Nessheim really bearing down on him, and you see McGahey just doesn't look like the same player. I think a healthier Chris McGahey comes back to that football and makes a spectacular catch. This is one of the most controlled catchers in the Pac-10 and really an acrobatic receiver as well. And he just does not look like himself, being sick all week and not practicing.
Only played a handful of plays, but here down the stretch, he's in the ballgame. Split to the far side once again. Sullivan on a draw play to Nance, and Nance is stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Alameda to Amu. In fact, he might have even lost the yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 11, and a big play here.
Once again, the Washington defense really stiffening up on their side of the football field, and the same thing plaguing Arizona State when they get closer to the red zone and have an opportunity to score. And they've had a few opportunities to really put this game away. They've been unable to convert, and whether that's Washington making great plays or Arizona State just sputtering, I'm not quite sure.
So a big play here, 3rd down, a long 11. Sullivan straight back. Rush comes. Sullivan throws, almost intercepted. Right in the hands of Trufant. Couldn't quite hang on. So now a decision here. This is just about the range of Weber.
Nice coverage by Trufant that time, and Sullivan throws it into double coverage. Nate Williams was also in the area.
And when I say the range of Weber, normally this is a gimme for Weber, but he's had that groin pull.
Kicking kind of like a pitching wedge. He's not able to follow through because of the groin.
It's a 40-yard attempt. And it is no good. Wide right. And clearly, it's not so much, I think, the leg that's bothering him. It's just that he has to change his style.
Yeah, his approach is different, and it's obviously in his head that he's got the groin pull, and he just doesn't look like the same All-American kicker that we've come to know in Thomas Weber. Erickson thought it was good at first and then realizes.
Well, I think his stride was a little off. You could see him lunge that time too, much as he did the last time.
And it's really hard. Weber was hitting those kicks in his warm-ups, but that was because he was warm. You know, he was out here, he didn't have his pads on, but standing on that sideline all night, you know, that groin can stiffen up.
There's a give this time on 1st down to Pope. Nothing doing it. The middle gets moved. Locker so far tonight has done what he does. I mean, he's been every bit as good as he's been all year long. 19 to 32, 220 yards, got a touchdown, also had a pick. And started to loosen up the old wheels on the last series. And we talk about the days in top quarterbacks for effort. I've heard, of course, Jimmy Clausen had a big game in a losing effort. Colt McCoy, not a lot of yards, but his team did win. Locker now with all day to throw. He steps up, throws, and it's pulled down by Aguilar. Great catch. Aguilar still on his feet at the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Locker had to throw that ball under duress, and a great grab by Aguilar.
And Aguilar's playing with a great deal of confidence. Sophomore out of Denver, Colorado, and he's been running all kinds of drive routes coming across. 7 receptions for 154 yards in the game, and Jake Locker starting to feel it, starting to feel the rhythm and the confidence of his offense, and he knows that that's a poised quarterback that knows it's starting to go his way.
First down at the 44-yard line.
I'd be cramping up too if I had all those yards.
That's right. And this time it's Locker, the option, the pitch to Fogerson, and Fogerson gets the midfield. A pickup of about 6. First time they've run that tonight.
Nice pitch by Locker, and it's one thing to pitch the ball on the option behind the line of scrimmage. It's another thing to cross the line of scrimmage and then make that pitch. That's a very brave pitch. Here you see Gerald Muggs coming after Fogerson and making a pretty nice pursuit play. Otherwise, that one goes for pretty far. Gabriel involved as well.
Gain of 6. Pope now lone setback. A bunch formation to the right side. Now they've been homing back up in the fullback slot. Play fake. Locker going to go up, steps up. Now he's going to roll away from trouble, and he's going to throw it downfield for Curse. Diving grab by Curse at the 15-yard line. What a catch by Curse. He's made a few tonight. Sinkfield did everything he could. A gain of 34.
And looks like Curse got the wind knocked out of him. But this is the amazing thing about Jake Locker this season. You're going to see him get out of the pocket right here. And usually, he'd just take off and run. He'd put his head down. But his eyes remain downfield. He sees Curse. He has the confidence in his receiver. A little bit of a mismatch there. And he goes up and makes a beautiful grab. But only because Jake Locker gave him the opportunity with his eyes down the football field. Usually, Jake Locker puts his head down and takes that ball for 20 yards and risks taking a big hit. That time floats it downfield to Curse. And it looks like Jermaine Curse is okay.
What a catch. He's made a couple of tremendous catches tonight. I mean, there's just such a difference in this team. I mean, everything about this team is different, and the personnel is largely the same.
Yeah, the personnel is largely the same, but the one guy who's there, who wasn't there for the better part of last year, is Jake Locker.
You're right. There's that draw play again. Locker, stiff arms 1, and gets a gain of about 2 on it. I mean, Locker's a big guy, 6'3", 226. Can be a load. More on Locker. Let's go to the sidelines. Michael Eaves.
Yeah, you talk about Jake Locker being on the field. That's a big difference. But he also said there's a difference in the attitude this season. It said we're able to see that through this team, we're not just getting plays based on luck. There's a different attitude. We're creating plays for ourselves. And that confidence, guys, as you know, goes a long way, even at the elite collegiate level. They're good athletes, but they got to be confident in what they're doing. They had that this year.
No question. They really believe in number 10.
They do, and it makes everybody play better, even on the other side of the ball.
Locker straight back under duress. Has to throw it. Rifles the ball, and a great grab made by James Johnson, the freshman. I mean, that's a very hard pass to throw.
The ability to throw on the run, and we were talking about it. A-State letting Washington hang around. And you let Washington hang around, you put the ball in that guy's hands late in the game, and you're going to get hurt by it. Terrell Carr that time, pretty loose coverage, and Locker delivers it on a line. I mean, a rod over there. What a great throw. And now, a manageable third down, but a big third down.
It's 3rd down and 5. Go out of the gun. Poke the running back with Locker. 4-man rush. Locker throws. Slant. Almost picked. Well defended that time by Pierre Sinkfield. Sinkfield actually, by and large, did a pretty darn good job tonight. And so,
ill-advised throw that time.
Yeah, one of the few I'm sure he'd like that back.
But Washington now with a shot to tie it up.
It's going to be a 29-yard try for Folk. Missed a 48-yarder earlier. And he drives this one through, and we got a tie ball game. So we are tied at 17. 3 minutes and 50 seconds remain. We are coming back. We're American Airlines. So the Washington Huskies have tied it with a 29-yard field goal. It's 17 all, 3:50 remaining in the game. and the Sun Devils will have it.
And with a tie game and the way the Sun Devils kicking game has been with Thomas Weber, you have to say, unless the Sun Devils can break a big play, if this game goes to overtime or really deep into the fourth quarter where somebody has a chance to kick a field goal, keep in mind that Thomas Weber is not 100% and has missed a couple field goals already tonight.
Folk drives this one to the goal line. Floyd's going to bring it out. That's the 10, the 15, and it is cracked as he crossed the 15 by Adam Long. Here is our DirecTV game summary. UW 10 straight points after they trailed 17-7 to tie it at 17 all, and total yards are just about even. Jake Locker, interesting. First half, he was 11 to 21, 136 yards. He rushed the ball 5 times for -1. In the second half, 11 to 15, 143 yards. He's rushed it 3 times for 25 yards.
And I would not want to give Jake Locker the ball back with a chance to win this game. It's imperative for Arizona State that they can get a first down or 2 here and just control the ball a little bit.
Remember, the other thing is they only have 1 timeout left. Sullivan steps up, throws, catch made. Robinson with a pickup on the play of 16.
Tell you, I'm impressed with Jarrell Robinson, a former quarterback at Hamilton High School in Phoenix, Arizona, a local guy, and he's very strong on the sideline, and you can just see his strength. Reminds me of Herman Moore, the receiver from the Lions, the way he catches the ball with his hands and brings it in, just like a steel grip.
Yeah. 8 players incidentally in this Arizona State team from Hamilton High School in Phoenix. And 6 from Centennial High School in Corona,
California. Vontez Burfict.
Play fake, Sullivan throws, catches made again by Robinson. Gain of about 3 on the play. E.J. Savannah makes the stop. Nothing new here for Steve Sarkisian and the Washington Huskies. All their games, it seems, have been close. They defeated USC 16-13, had a real chance to win at Notre Dame, only to lose in overtime. And then last week on a miracle play, they win it 36-33, so nothing new here.
They were in the game to open up against LSU. Really, like you said in the first half, Barry, the only game that really got away from the Huskies this year was the Stanford game on the farm.
2nd down and 7. Sullivan with all day to throw it. And Taylor makes the catch. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. So a big 3rd down play coming up here. Adam Long again on the tackle. Long has played very well tonight.
Well, he did a great job that time of keeping Kerry Taylor from getting the first down. Sometimes you're not failing as a defensive back, especially a cornerback, if a guy makes a catch in front of you. As long as you can corral him and give your defense a chance to get off the field on 3rd down, sometimes you're doing your job. You got to give a little bit of a cushion, and that's what Adams did that time against Kerry Taylor.
Play the game right here for ASU. They need a yard. And they give it to Nance, and he's got much more. Gets himself into the open across midfield to the 46-yard line. For a moment as though he could go. A gain of 11.
Well, we see that happen oftentimes in football where everybody gets up on the line of scrimmage and then you see the hole open up. I mean, that was going for Dimitri Nance, and Donald Butler doesn't come and save the play. That was a touchdown waiting to happen. That happens oftentimes in short yardage. Everybody creeps up to the line of scrimmage, and if a hole opens up, that's that.
So the ball now at the 46-yard line. The Huskies cannot yield a whole lot more. Sullivan straight back. He's got time again. Throws. And unable to make that catch. Probably for the better was Dimitri Nance.
And incomplete passes, like we said, are okay, especially on 1st down in situations like this at the end of the half or the end of a game. Now Sullivan can relax, get his offense in the huddle, call a play, everybody takes a deep breath, and you find a new way to attack this Washington defense. I'll tell you what, if Danny Sullivan can orchestrate some kind of drive here and get a field goal try, and somehow Thomas Weber's leg feels okay and he can kick it through, it'll do wonders for this young man's confidence and this university's confidence in Danny Sullivan as a quarterback.
McGahey back in the ball game, split to the near side. Sullivan under pressure, hit as he throws, and so now it's going to be 3rd down. Sullivan took a real shot there.
There's Weber.
Right now, it's a no-brainer. I mean, this is way out of Weber's range under the best of circumstances.
Donald Butler, Daniel Teo Nessheim, all there getting a shot at Danny Sullivan. Did a pretty good job getting rid of that ball. No grounding there because it was in the area.
ASU just 2 of 7 on third down conversions in the second half. You need 10. Sullivan straight back, 4-man rush. Sullivan throws to Nance, drops it. Not sure that was going to get the 10 that he needed, but it was going to get something.
Well, it's a safe call by Dennis Erickson, just looking to get a punt, back Washington up, hope their special teams come through, and then have faith in the defense, which has carried Arizona State all year, to hold Washington and force an overtime.
Good defensive stance once again by the Huskies. Aguilar going to be the deep man once again.
They've bent, but they haven't broken a lot in this game.
High kick, turns it over. Aguilar gets out of the way and hits it and kicks out of bounds at the 9-yard line. So the Huskies have all their timeouts, but they only have 1 minute and 17 seconds, and they got 91 yards to go.
Here's the second half for Washington. Started out with this touchdown run by Chris Polk. And then Jake Locker finding Kearse down the field. And a field goal to tie it by Folk. And that's what brought Washington back into the football game. And now, the hands of the best player in the Pac-10, the most talented player in the Pac-10, the captain of the Washington football team, Jake Locker, are going to be on the ball with the game hanging in the balance.
A long way to go. They give the Polk on first down. Polk gets a little gap. Gets it to about the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. It gave 6 on first down. And they will hustle up. They won't call a timeout here. Trying to get people aligned right, and they're wasting some time. 57, 56 seconds. They still have timeouts to use, all their timeouts. Give the Polk again, and this time they're going to have to call a timeout. Polk's short of the first down, I believe, unless they're really generous with the spot.
Well, either they want overtime or they're hoping to get a first down and stop the clock. And look, they're running the 2-minute. They want to get down the field. I think they expected those run plays to catch Arizona State off guard, but they're running into the strength of the Arizona State defense.
21 seconds right now. Locker steps up, throws it as far as he can. A lot of clutching and grabbing going on, but no flag. Locker took a pretty good shot also. Well, it looks like, and Locker comes off with his shoulder maybe a little hurt.
Well, let's see if he fell on it. That's eerily like Sam Bradford going down earlier today.
You can see him scream in pain there. So this could be much more serious than it first looked. Punt, headed for Kyle Williams. He makes the catch. He's got room, 45 midfield. And cracked right at midfield. 40-yard punt and 9-yard return. And now there's all kinds of question marks here. Foster made the stop. And there's 13 seconds. I'm not quite sure I understand the clock management on that last series.
I think they thought they were going to get a first down and catch Arizona State off guard with the 2 up-the-middle runs by Polk, but it didn't work out that way. And then they tried all of it on the 3rd and 1 and stopped the clock for Arizona State. Had to punt because they were so deep. Now here, probably going into overtime, and you got a gimpy kicker in Weber and Locker. We don't know what the situation is with his shoulder.
There is nobody on the bench that we can see being tended to, so we expect that Locker is okay. Might have just had a stinger. Sullivan's going to throw it as far as he can. He's got a couple guys out of the game. Has it! Touchdown! How do you like it?
First catch of the night for Chris McGahey. Didn't practice all week with the flu, a 4-year starter senior at Moon Valley High School, Phoenix, Arizona. He talked about his acrobatic playability, running free down the field. Nick Holt doesn't know what happened there. And look at Danny Sullivan. We thought we were going to overtime because of the kicker. Thomas Weber and his groin pull, unable to really get anything going for the Sun Devils all night. But what a play by Danny Sullivan to find Chris McGahey.
They had more than McGahey open. They had 2 guys who were wide open. It was like Sullivan's choice. unbelievable turn of events. Questionable clock management by the Huskies. They punt it back. They get it at the 50-yard line. One play. McGahey makes his first catch of the game. Arguably their big playmaker, and guess what? Took him 59 minutes and 55 seconds, but he made it.
And so much emotion on the Arizona State sideline. You see Danny Sullivan, and then you see the other side of the anger and intensity of Nick Holt. You get a flag right now on Arizona State sideline. I don't think Dennis Erickson minds too much.
I'll say. I'm not even sure Sullivan believes it. Sullivan played a very solid game. Just exactly what we talked about at the beginning. 21 to 35, 263 yards. Far from home is up and good. And for all intent, this one's in the books.
Well, to say the Huskies got caught off guard would be the understatement of the year. It's only a three-man rush. The Huskies should be way back, but there's McGahey running right down the seam, and nobody's on him. There he is. Nobody picks him up in the zone. I mean, absolutely nobody picks up McGahey in the zone. Victor Iowa just lets him go right by Danny Sullivan.
And you saw Simpson was wide open also. He had his choice. He could have thrown it to either guy.
One of the most baffling plays I've ever seen. And Danny Sullivan can't believe it either. And there's McGahey, suffered from the flu all week. His first catch of the night. And it was a big one.
A remarkable finish to this game. Remarkable.
Well, you got the feeling with as strange and herky-jerky or haphazard or whatever you want to call the first half, you get the feeling, as weird as the first half was, that this game was going to come down to something like that. And there's Nick Holt talking to E.J. Savannah. Just a lot of confusion on the Washington sideline and just rejoicing on the A-State sideline. And I just can't believe what happened.
And it's that unsportsmanlike penalty right there was the first penalty of the second half called against.
Believe what happened.
And it's that unsportsmanlike penalty right there was the first penalty of the second half called against Arizona State. Significant, I think. They'll take a timeout right here, because that's exactly what Dennis Erickson told Michael Eaves. We just got to cut down on the penalties and we can take care of business. And sure enough, they did. Look at it again. A complete breakdown here.
And that's Iowa that lets McGahey by, and Butler just chasing without much of a sense of urgency, and just absolute confusion in the secondary of the Huskies. And that could be the defining play of the season for both of these teams.
Absolutely.
I thought we were going to have overtime for sure. You got Thomas Weber with the injured groin and not going to get a long field goal from the All-American. Jake Locker never got a chance to get back on the field.
He's probably not going to get one here because they likely will just dribble this ball down.
Well, it's two huge late-in-the-game victories for Washington and two huge late-in-the-game defeats for Washington and Notre Dame, and it seems like what's developing here in Tempe.
It's exactly what they do. It takes a big hop, and they will get one playoff. So this will be everybody out for a long one here. Well, get the pennies in the huddle.
I wouldn't expect there to be a coverage gap like there was on the last play for A-State.
You know, it was such a complete breakdown. There were two guys running wide open down the field. Plus, there was no pressure on Sullivan.
One of the strangest plays I've ever seen, and we've been calling Pac-10 football for a little while. The mental breakdown in the Washington secondary is unfathomable.
So it looks as though the Huskies are going to have one play from the 40-yard line. The Sun Devils have 5 players back from the 10-yard line in. Walker will roll away here. Now he steps up, throws it as far as he can. He's not going to get it to the end zone, so it's a moot point. The pass is intercepted. The game is over. And Arizona State on a miracle play and a miracle sequence wins the game. 5 about 6 snaps the entire game. Makes the big catch, running wide open down the field. Complete defensive breakdown for the Washington Huskies, and the Sun Devils win.
You see the relief on Danny Sullivan, who's taken a lot of heat here in Arizona for his play leading up to that point, but what a redemption for him. That was the longest completion of Danny Sullivan's career, and McGahey just didn't look like himself all night until then.
Well, let's go down to Michael Eaves. He's with Dennis Erickson. Michael.
Yeah, Barry, thanks a lot. Dennis, I don't know about you, but it seemed like the entire stadium thought this game was going to overtime. Were you surprised at how off guard you caught that Washington defense?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, we just threw it up, and I don't know what the coverage they were in, but he was awfully open, and Danny found him, and, you know, it's a great win for us. They've won a couple like this themselves, so, you know, it's about time that we got one of those. And, you know, I thought defensively we hung in there, and we played, you know, offensively we moved it again. Couldn't get it in the end zone a couple times, but we're getting better all the time.
How about that effort of Danny Sullivan tonight? I know some of the fans have been griping he hadn't been playing as well as he wanted to or as you wanted to, but for him to be able to make that play down the stretch, you guys to get this win at home.
That's huge. And he's played very well. I got a little pressure on him there in the second half, but was just, you know, let's face it, we had a little luck, too.
Quite entertaining show, Coach. We appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
All right, Dennis Erickson, Arizona State Sun Devils, 24-17 winners over the Huskies, Barry Tompkins, and a wild finish here at Sun Devil Stadium.
A crazy finish, and there's nobody in this stadium, I don't think, expected it, up to and including Dennis Erickson, as he told Michael Eaves, expected it to end the way that it did. A 50-yard touchdown pass, and the Sun Devils win it by 7. We'll come back, put a ribbon on this one after this.